Live. What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video for you guys. Listen, before we hop into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you like the content, share and like the video, and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. All right. So I'm back with another quick clip for you guys. This comes from the Daily Wrap-Up crew. Shout out to them. So they're talking about feminism, and you know, we talk about this all the time and how this has definitely made a huge impact on Black women in a negative way, in my opinion. How it's kind of, you know, shaped the narrative of how women think when it comes to dating and relationships with men and marriage, and the role of women versus the role of a man. And it's contributed to why so many women think the way they think, and think in this single independent mindset, but still want to have men as traditional men wholeheartedly. So I want to play this little clip. I definitely want you guys to chime in. I want to hear what you have to say on this one. Make sure you leave your thoughts, comments, concerns in the comment section. I want to hear from you, but let's get into the video. Here we go.
Really do like the idea of women being able to work if they want to work, or be in politics if they want to vote if you want to vote. Feminism feels like, or I want to say it started from wanting to have a voice. Right. Women want to speak. We have opinions. We're people. It just went way overboard. And I think it had to do with sports. It had to do with occupation. And it had to do with politics.
A lot of people don't realize that the feminist movement was a political push.
Literally.
And it was also
a political manipulation.
For two reasons. One, to have more voters available for the Democrat Party specifically, but then two, allow businesses to receive more workers and for the government to receive more in taxes
and pay us less.
Exactly
now,
that.
Come on, because now I can tax the whole family. Everybody got to pay me, right? So we, you know, I always say this, like, Black women had nothing to do with the women's suffrage movement because we've always been working in this country. My grandmother was a maid. My other grandmother was a nurse. Their mothers before them worked, and then all the way back to slavery. It was never a time in this country that Black women didn't work outside the home. We got lumped into this movement that was really a rich white woman's argument. Like, I want to be able to work. People saw them as being too high class or too dainty to do work.
And somehow Black women became the face of feminism.
Okay.
They at home. The white feminists is at home with their husbands, and they tell the Black women like, oh no, y'all don't need a man.
All the housewives.
Like, yeah.
We are out here
pushing their babies in strollers, if you want to talk the truth.
If you really want to talk about it.
Exactly. There was not one lie told in that conversation. And it's just, you know, it's like a hoodwink. They've hoodwinked Black women into believing something that never was, or believing that, you know, this was their plight. The feminist movement was never for Black women, like they said. This was a white woman's plight, who didn't want to be subjugated to the household and the kids alone. She thought that she could be equal to her husband and wanted to be able to do things outside of the home. She didn't want to have the role of being a stay-at-home wife with the kids while the husband went out and made all the money and was the breadwinner. That was a white woman's plight who was not satisfied with her role. But they got Black women to join in as a way to dismantle the Black family structure. And Black women kind of dove in there and just ate that whole thing whole and took it literally as if they really didn't need their men, and isolated the man and thought that they could truly live their lives with their children by themselves. And I definitely think the feminist movement has played a major role in where Black women are today. This whole independent idea of you don't need a man and that you can do it all by yourself has definitely stemmed from a feminist mindset. And I don't know if women would agree with that, but it has. And if, some would say that the feminist movement wasn't meant to be what it is considered today, that it was meant, just, for women who want to be a part of society. They want to, do something more than just be in the house. They want to contribute to society, and they want to, have equal rights. And now, some could argue that it's turned into something more, that it's turned into something that's become a hatred for men, because a lot of these particular women really hated their husbands. They hated their men. They hated the authority that the men have. Hence the reason why a lot of women want to fight for equality and have the same rights as a man, and also want to get paid the same as men. And honestly, I do think that if a woman and a man is doing the same job, you should get the same pay. I don't think that you should pay women less. But if a man is getting paid for a job that is a different title, that has more responsibilities, and it's not the same title, no, I don't think that it's fair that you get the same pay. Because as we know, they've debunked the whole pay gap situation. They realized that women just wanted equal pay no matter what the type of job was. Just as women, we need to get paid the same thing that men are getting paid. But you got to think about it. Majority of women are not doing the jobs. Majority of the strenuous jobs that men are doing. You know, men do welding, construction, all of these jobs that require hard manual labor. Those jobs are not dominated by women. It's not that women can't get those jobs. They're not, a lot of times they don't want to do those jobs. And if we really going to be honest, what woman really wants to go in the sewers, in the ground, construction? Most women don't want to do those jobs, if we're going to be real. But if a woman wanted to do that job and she could handle that job, then she should be getting paid the same as the man. But we can't even say that they're not, because women don't go for those types of jobs. Women want to get paid for the same amount as men in jobs that don't require the same amount of labor. So I don't think that should be. But, you know, there are a lot of fields that women could go into that they don't choose to, but they still want the same pay. And that just doesn't make sense to me. But I also think, once again, the whole feminist mindset was to be able to be equal to a man, to be able to do certain jobs, to be able to have jobs in the first place, to be able to have bank accounts, to be able to start a business if you wanted to be able to do all of these things. But it's interesting to me that you still hear women bring those things up, but as if they don't have the abilities to do that now. We could just, you know, fast forward and to now, and now women are in the positions. You don't have to complain about it anymore, because you are able to have bank accounts. Y'all have multiple businesses. You're able to do all of the things that were fought for in the past. So now you are able to do it. You can work. You can take care of yourself. You don't have to depend on a man. You got it. But what do we see now? They're complaining about that still. You fought to be able to have your own autonomy, your own way of taking care of yourself, your own this, and you got it, but they still complaining because they still want men to take care of them in a traditional way. They still want men to pay all the bills. You still want men to lead the household when you are capable of doing it yourselves. And this is what I think is, and I say it all the time, this is mind-boggling too, y'all. When women, and once again, when we talk about Black women versus white women, the majority of Black women have always worked. That is a true statement. Black women did not have the luxury to stay at home especially in the 40s, 50s, and the 60s. Black women have always had to work, and you had to work with your spouses, with your men. It's never been a time where Black women as a whole could sit back and be at home and take care of the kids while the husband went out. No, you both had to work together because it was necessary. The same way I believe it is today. But because we're in a modern version of it, and there's this illusion of, women as women, you could do it by yourself, they push that. But when you hear women speak who are doing it by themselves, they're frustrated. They're tired. It's not easy. They're having difficulties because it's not as easy as they want you to think. And while there may be a percentage of women who make good money, make six figures or more, that is not the majority of women. And that's not the majority of people. Black, white, Asian, Indian, anybody, everybody. That is not the majority of everybody. Most couples have to work together. But somehow it's become a delusion, like a thing in Black women's mind, like, why is it that every other race of men understand this? No, they understand. Majority of them and their wives work as well. I don't know where they're getting this from. The majority of people work together. The majority of spouses both have to work. You have men who are lawyers. You have women who are lawyers, and their husbands or their wives are doctors. They both work. You have people who may work in a different capacity, where they may work from home, but they still bring in money. They're working together. I don't know how it's gotten mixed up in the matrix to where Black women think that other groups of people are not working together. And as Black women, y'all supposed to just be capable to work, and you've always had to work. But all of a sudden, when you get with a man, he got to do all the work, and then you could just sit back. And mind you, they still want to work, but they just don't want to spend their money. They want to keep their money for whatever they want. They want you to work and pay everything. Where they do that at? That is not a common thing. And so I don't know. This is why I say it's turned into something even more delusional than what the feminist movement started out to be. It seems as if Black women are the most delusional. You talk to other white women or any other race of women, you understand they work, a lot of them, and their husbands work too. Or they both worked at a certain point, and then maybe she could stay home, or she stayed home when she had the kids, but then when the kids got older, she went to work and the husband worked, or they'll tell you a lot of different stories. And I think this is why I think a lot of our women, unfortunately, are so misguided and misinformed. I really do. But once again, we have the most educated according to Black women, but they don't understand this concept. They don't get it. They swear that everybody else is just, all the other wives are at home. You talk to some of these wives of other races and groups. And go talk to some white women and ask them what they do. Do they just stay at home with the kids? No, they going to work. They working hard too. And their husband's working too. Go talk to all them group of, what's the percentage of those women who are stay-at-home wives and just at home and not doing no type of work or bringing no kind of income into the household? Go look up the statistics on that. Because you will realize that they are working and they're working together. Other groups of people work together. But for some reason in our community, the women have really got this idea that they don't have to work and they don't have to contribute to the household. I don't understand, or barely contribute, that the man should be responsible for the full load. That is just unrealistic. And unrealistic in a way that they're expecting it. Common sense would say, hey, if you have a stay-at-home wife, you know, the way I was, I'm an example of it. But once again, it was real in a realistic way. Trust me. It wasn't fancy this and fancy that and trips and all of these things. No, it was a realistic household where I'm actually at the house with the kids and I'm actually there cooking and actually there taking care of the kids while my husband is working all day. But there's and we had everything that we needed and some of the things we wanted. It's a decent lifestyle, but it was nothing fancy about it. And we wasn't looking for fancy. And most people aren't. But for some reason, we're living in a day and age where everything has to be glamorized. Everything has to be like like what you see on TV. Everything has to look like a rich lifestyle. And that is not feasible for everybody. And that is unrealistic for most people. And this is why you see a age of so many women out here who are getting caught for scamming, and there's more scammers out here scamming to look like they got it and they really don't. And so it just shows you right there that it's something that is unattainable for you to do all by yourself. That if you want something stable and you want something to thrive and work, you have to do it together. But for some reason in our community, they on this whole different way of thinking that is certainly a delusional mentality, and it's unrealistic and it's unsustainable. But they're gonna keep thinking that way, but they're seeing a different outcome. So do you keep being delusional, or you realize what it is based off of what you're seeing? You see that you're not able to attain that. You're not even able to maintain it. A lot of people are becoming homeless, living in their cars, living in storages and stuff, trying to perpetuate this lifestyle that you got it. In reality, you don't, because it's not that easy to do all by yourself. So listen, I just hope they get it and get the information and do something about it before it's too late, because it's just a delusional mindset. It's not helping anybody. But listen, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this one. Chime in. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
DeeDeesReactions.